If you're someone who goes to the gym, you might think designing your own program is the best idea because you know yourself best, right? However, in this video today, guys, we're going to be looking at the variables we need to know about designing your own gym-based program and exactly what to watch out for. So guys, the first thing we need to think about in this video is what is the point in this? What is our goal? Are we looking to grow muscle? Are we looking to get stronger? Are we looking to build endurance? Are we looking to reduce body fat? Like all these things that will help us coincide our goals, will help us design our program. So once we know that makes exercise selection, reps, sets, ranges, recovery days a lot more tangible. Let's say your goal is to build muscle. The reps and sets will probably be falling in the lines of between 6 and 12 reps in the given session. You might include one compound exercise in there. Any more will just promote a lot more fatigue. However, your goal and focus is to prioritize range of motion. As with strength, your goal is to shift that load from A to B with a good technique. With muscle building, your form is essential. Your technique is essential. How much time and attention you put in that muscle, and even the group selection in which you have your exercises is important too. Let's say your goal is endurance. Having a lot more cardiovascular work in your gym program will be essential as well. Maybe some high rep ranges along the way, maybe some supersets, trisets, giant sets, circuit training, etc. That will help you get fitter and stronger as well. So before we move on, make sure you can tell me what is your goal. If your goal is clear, then that brings it on to structure. How are we going to structure your week? Are you someone who's going to be doing full body days, bro splits, push-pull legs, that sort of thing? Choose your preference and your style. And there is no really right or wrong answer in this one. This is down to what you can stick to as an individual and what you enjoy doing the best. Never mind what bro is doing on Instagram and what looks good on Instagram. Do what you can stick to and what you would enjoy the most, because that is the most important thing. Enjoyment. If you're hating on every single second of your program, you're not going to really stick to it. And that's not really an efficient way of training, is it? If you're a beginner and you're short on time, full body days 2-3 times a week is a fantastic place to start. If you're more experienced and you have a bit more time, then push-pull legs is also a very good way of training. It's self-explanatory. On one day, you do everything that's push, so a lot of chest, triceps, and shoulders. On the next, you do everything to pull. So deadlift, back, hamstrings, etc. Everything you pull motion, you prioritize on that day. Just be careful to give yourself 50 sets of bicep curls and 1,000 reps of hamstring curls, because that will be very painful. And the next one, which I always used to skip growing up as a teenager, was legs. I very much enjoy doing legs now. It's my favorite time of the week. But making sure you go through that cycle, push-pull legs, maybe a rest day in between there, and maybe even a full body. If I was going back to my younger days, I used to focus a lot on doing chest and triceps, back and biceps, so that bro split. And when it comes to Wednesday, it was legs. I was like, not a good pump, is it? It's not a good bicep pump. I'll pass, or I'll go on the bike for a bit. That's legs, right? Not really, Chris. Your quads were tiny and everyone could see it. Not now, though. I like training legs now. Big boy. But choosing one that you'll stick to. If you're going to have legs every day in your program, then you better have jacked quads by the end of it. But you're not really going to recover that well, are you? Okay, now it's time to choose your exercise selection. So, are you going to be wanting a mixture of compounds? Compound movements, exercise that work more than one muscle group, more than one joint action, or are you going to do isolation exercises? So this just depends on your goal, but you can have both. So for each muscle group, you want to aim for at least one compound lift. For example, on a leg day, you want to maybe opt for a squat of some sorts, or a deadlift, arguably, but making sure you cover one compound lift. This can be a front squat. This can be a back squat, a tempo squat, a pause squat, an RDL, anything that's going to work more than one muscle group for that area. So if you do have your compound exercise in mind, now we need to sort of sprinkle the cake, i.e. your accessories. Some isolations, such as leg extensions, leg curls, calf raises, walking lunges at a push, depending on your experience and at your level, dependent on how much you can handle in your training session. And don't forget, what looks good on paper when you're in that session might not always be the best outcome. I.e., you could finish your 5 set of 5 squats, horrendous, and then you've got, oh, I've got 4 sets of split squats to do. I don't want to do this, I want to go home. You know what I'm saying here? So making sure it's realistic, because don't forget, you still need to do the work. You've put it down on paper, man, you got to do it. So making it realistic with your exercise selections. For example, don't go putting down squats, leg presses, Bulgarian split squats, dumbbell walking lunges, RDLs, hip thrusts, all in one day, because you'll get to about 3 exercises deep and you'll be like, I want to go home right now, I'm sore. So don't be a dick to yourself. Can I swear on YouTube? Probably not. Once you have your exercises, next move on to how many sets and how many reps that you're going to do for each movement. If you're going to select a compound lift, I would recommend having, at first, if you're going to have around 4 to 6 reps for that compound, I recommend your first week or 2, probably 3 or 4 sets. Top sets. These are not your warm-ups included. You still have to warm up to your working weight. Then log and document your first working set on a weight that is sensible, not too much for the first week. For muscle growth, aim between 3 and 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps per exercise. For strength, between 4 and 6 reps at still around 4 to 5 sets. And for endurance, between 15 20 reps. And don't forget your rest periods matter too. When you're resting in the gym, this can obviously dictate your next set, but also help you at a push develop some sort of fitness. For example, if your goal is strength, you'll rest at least 3 to 5 minutes, at least, in that given exercise. If your goal is hypertrophy, maybe 2 minutes at best, 60 to 90 seconds. If your goal is endurance, trying to tax your CV system a little bit, then between 30 and 60 seconds is a good spot and will get you some hella good pumps as well. All right, so far we've done exercise selection, sets, reps, and a little bit of rest as well. What about intensity and how to progress through your program? Let's say it's week 1 and you've done yourself the best gym program that you can do. You've got all the biceps, you've got tricep extensions everywhere, you've got such a filthy program and you love it. Going to the gym, you're excited and you want to give this your best shot on week 1 because you think week 1 we set the standard, we set the pace for this, let's just annihilate week 1, and here you're left with a bunch of DOMs and you're struggling to recover. Hitting week 1 gently is a nice thing to do. Personally, in my own training, I currently program myself and I programmed my first week at what I call an RP 6 or 7 if that. Just give you a chance to grow in your program, because don't forget, if you're at week 1, you've still got to move through that training block and survive that training block. If you max out everything on week 1, how do you progress from there other than to just to force yourself to move and shift the weight? Going at a reduced intensity on week 1 is always a clever idea to do, and I definitely recommend it. Next is how you're going to track your training. Are you going to have an app? Are you going to have sheets? Are you going to have a pen and paper? Whatever you choose, just realizing that week by week that you don't always see a linear progression. On some weeks you might feel tired than others. Life might get in the way, you might feel more stressed, more agitated. Training takes a bit of a hit. Maybe you've drank on one week and you're just hungover as hell. But realizing that progression is not always linear, and across the entire month and weeks, it might become a little bit higher in trajectory, but just adding either another set, another rep, some more weight, reducing your rest time, better technique, more importantly, is quite essential for growth as well. If you're doing the same thing, the same weight week in, week out, your body is going to adapt to that. Make sure you in some way, shape or form add some progression in there as well. Next is your rest and recovery days, which are important. We need to recover to grow. Yes, that gym old saying is true. When I was 15 years of age and gymming every day, 7 days a week, I was in the thought process of, let's just train every day and get jacked, get massive. It got very old very quick. and I was struggling to recover come the next training day. When you train every day, it's just, you're not giving it your all. If you can train every day, then question how much intensity you're pumping into them sessions. You could do better. And when you are on your rest days, actually prioritizing recovery modalities. Hydrate for damn sake. Get some good sleep, lower stress, do whatever you do to make yourself relax. Now listen, you can do your own gym program and it can last for 2-3 weeks. You can get a program off ChatGTP. It'll last between 1-3 weeks. Or ultimately, you can get a coach who will keep you accountable to that specific program, and not only that, design it for you, tailored to you. And if you want something like that, click the link below and we'll have a chat. But for now, thanks for watching the video, and I hope to see you next one.